Okay, my friends, I just wanted to share with you my experience of the Houston Quilt Show. Of course, we got up like at 5 in the morning and we're on the bus. And this is kind of like when we got into Houston. The bus ride was 3 hours, I believe. And I just want to show you some scenery of us in the bus goofing around. Yes, we goofed around. I love Oak Leaf's bus, they were wonderful. We had no issues at all. This is my friend Chris, and this is me just giving you like different views of Houston. I think it was so beautiful seeing the downtown buildings. And I'm just going to share with you, this video is about the Houston Quilt Show, some of the quilts that I saw, and how much fun I had. I went twice, by the way. I went with the Oak Leafs bus in New Braunfels, and I also went with Scrappy Quilters here in Shirts, Texas. I took 2 bus rides, yeah. The Shirts bus was from Scrappy was a little bit shorter, which I think was pretty good because I was already real tired Friday. So yes, so this is what it's like just driving down there. I just wanted to get a lot of kind of shots, and this is us going up the escalators inside where the Houston Quilt Show is, and then I'm going to show you some beautiful quilts. This is more about the quilts, not necessarily my bus ride, okay? Okay, so this is Welcome to International Quilt Fest 2016. Yes, this is the first quilt you saw. I thought this quilt was awesome. I really love quilts with a lot of color, and this is called Leaf 2 by Lori Ann Smith, and I just loved it. And then I also like this one. It's called Chasm 22 by Beth Carmery, I think. I just like the calmness of it, and this is called The Red Sun at Night by Barbara W. Walter. I just like some of the colors. My favorite one, and one of them, this quilt is called Clams. I just really love the coloring. I believe she painted it. Honestly, when you look from afar, it looks like these clams are coming up and you can touch them. Now, this quilt is called Disruption. What is crazy about this quilt, and I could not believe it, is inside she quilted, like there's paper in there. I wanted to touch it, but I didn't, Now, this next quilt is called Tagged. She talks about how when Pearl Harbor was attacked, and how a lot of Japanese citizens were relocated. I love the way quilters have a voice and how they want to bring to light a social issue. And she wanted to share how the children suffered at this time. Now, this quilt is called Peering Out of the Darkness. And what she talks about is how you could be in a dark place and how the light of the world can pierce through inside that darkness. I just think this quilt is beautiful. And then the next one is called Autumn Afternoon. To me, this quilt looks like a mural, like a painter did it. And I'm going to get it up close. Look at all those tiny, tiny pieces of fabric and how she quilted the thread. And honestly, it looks like a painter painted this. But it's beautiful how this is made out of fabric and how the quilter found a way to make it. This is called Colorscape 1, I believe. And I'm going to get an up close of you seeing the little tiny squares that she did with different hues of colors. I imagine how much planning it took and how she just sewed them on. And you can see the thread and a little bit of the fraying, but from afar it looks beautiful. This is called Boundless Energy of a Child. I kind of like a lot of the art murals out there at the Houston Quilt Show, how they put these things together, how they made them. And this is called Colorform 71. To me, this is a little bit more modern quilt. I think this is a lot easier quilt to make, but it's beautiful, it's modern, and it's clean, and this is called Grandma Maud. The lady who did this quilt, she wanted it to do it for her grandmother and to honor her mother, and this is how she would see her grandmother reading a book. And I just love this kind of emotional perspective of remembering a person in your life. And yeah, it's beautiful. This is called The Source of Life. Now, this quilt is called Source of Life. She talks about how water is such a necessary resource for us. I just love how this quilter showed the joy and the beauty of water on our faces. And I went up close. That looks like blue jean fabric. And how she quilted this is beautiful. And here, this one is called Joy. The lady said that she made this. She saw a picture of her friends, her little girl swimming for the first time. And this is my favorite one. This is called New Beginnings. She talked about having health issues and how she had to find a song in her heart and how to restart, I guess, and have a new beginning. And this is called The African Village. I would think last year she won second place. I'm not sure. But she just did another depiction of her time in Africa. These are just beautifully made, and I'm going to get an up close of the quilting. Look at that quilting. Nice and little quilting. This is called Blood Remembers. I love the echo of the energy this quilt brings. And this is called Baltimore in Bloom. This is one of the winners. International Quilt Fest presents the Founder Award. She got $7,500. This quilt is magnificent. She says it took her 3,000 hours to applique. It also took her 1,000 hours to hand quilt. I'm going to bring a close-up in a second, and this quilt is magnificent. It's beautiful. I tried to get it in different angles, but there was a lot of crowds, so I'm just trying to give you kind of like some of the views that I did. Now, this quilt is called The Unknown Man. He received the Gamma Award. To me, this quilt reminds me of the 1980s, this beautiful color mural. It is lovely, guys. You need to see it in person. So this quilt is made by Cynthia England. Her quilt is named Reflections of Cape Town, and I got an interview with her. She got the Handy Quilter Best Show Award. So you took this picture where?
I took it in South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay. Okay, what could you tell me about your quilt?
Over here by this tree, by the palm tree. It took a year to make.
A year to make?
A year to make. It has about 8,400 pieces.
How many?
8,400.
Okay.
It's made using a technique that I developed. It's called picture piecing.
Okay.
It is not paper piecing. Most people think it's paper piecing. What's different is you don't sew through paper, and you sew next to it, and there's no paper to pick out when you're finished.
Okay.
I have videos online showing how to do it at englanddesign.com.
Okay.
We're demonstrating in the booth.
Awesome.
The booth number is 428. So if you want to see hands-on how to do it, we'll show you. You can pretty much take any photograph and do this. I mean, it's very forgiving, and you cheat a whole lot.
And why did you do a quilt of this picture?
I just love the colors. I like the reflections in the water. I like water. I do a lot of waters. I don't know why. It relaxes me, or I just like water. So it was these squiggly things that attracted me, and then the colors.
Okay, it's beautiful work.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
What a blessing.
Thank you.
Another winner for traditional artistry, her quilt is called My Favorite Paisley. I had an issue trying to get this video because it was so crowded, because this quilt was so beautiful. And so here I'm just showing you some of her information, and I'm going to also show you some close-ups, but this was real hard. What was beautiful is she had like a little bit of applique kind of showing you how she did it, but it was so crowded in her space because this quilt was magnificent. I have a couple kind of close-ups, but I had to slow the film down because I was moving a lot, because there was so many people there just to look at this quilt. Yeah, it was beautiful. This quilt is Birds Fly. I love this quilt. It's innovative applique. When you first saw it, it looked just like one whole piece. And I tried to turn the camera so you could see the whole length of the camera. That's why you see the camera turning. And then one of the ladies went up there and kind of showed us the back of it. And so that's going to come up in a second. And I'm just trying to get different close-ups. But I've noticed when there was such a magnificent, beautiful quilt, it was inundated with people and crowds. And do you see those little pieces of fabric right there? She pieced this piece together. And in a minute, someone's going to go ahead and show us the back of it to where you can see through the quilt. Do you see her hand right there? I was so thankful that the lady was able to turn the quilt for us so that we could see this, because when you first see it, it looks like one whole piece, not that it's pieced together by those little pieces of fabric right there. It is beautiful, by the way. So from the back, you can even see some of that wonderful quilting. Now, this quilt was World of Beauty Award. Her name is Margaret Solomon Gunn. She had several quilts in the show. It was so hard to get this video because it was so crowded. So I just want you to just look at her work. Look at her quilting. This quilt is magnificent. It's so beautiful. It just looks like a flower garden, by the way. That's so yeah.
No, I can see it from over there, and I can look like you're in the store, and you can pick it out.
Smart, you can go read all of it.
It looks better in real life.
Yeah, it does.